Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be back live in my studio and making the Delphine duster pattern. Now, I've always wanted to make this pattern. I realized there was a big gap in my wardrobe of just like things I can throw on. And thanks everyone for joining. Hi, Esther. Hi, Leslie. Thanks for joining in today. And um, yeah, so the Delphine duster is actually meant to be like a woven fancy duster pattern, but I have this French terry fabric from Robert Kaufman that was left over from our vacation that was a couple weeks ago. So I took some home, and it's this like turquoise green French terry. So I cut the pattern in that, and I also cut a belt and belt loops to make it like a bathrobe type garment. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It could just be fine on its own. I'm gonna do those last, and if I just like it as a regular duster, I might just omit those, but I cut them just in case. And I also cut a band that goes around the center and down the center front to finish that edge because it is like a facing, and I don't like doing facings in knits. So let's just experiment and see if my knit my knit version of this pattern that's meant to be a woven turns out. So let me head over to my cutting table and I can start putting it together. All right. I've been itching to get back sewing on here. All right. So I have the pattern, and let me look and see. Oh yeah, there's no way I'm setting in that sleeve. I'm definitely going to be setting it in flat and then stitching it. Yeah, so you can even see here, maybe I'll put that up, like this is the facing. Um, and I just cut a long band, so it actually makes the center front wider and good for wrapping if I do want to include that belt. So here's my potential belt piece and my belt loop. I'll just put it over there for now. And I have my sleeve. I should probably I'm trying to think what I should do first. Yeah, shoulder seam. I'll do the shoulder seams first. Okay, and then I have two fronts. I also shortened it by 6 inches. It was super duper long on me, and I wanted to, I literally did not have any fabric left for, leftover, so I wanted to make use of the entire piece of scrap that I had. All right, and this is my front band. So on the pattern, I just measured the back neckline. So I measured this minus the seam allowance, as well as this front edge here minus the seam allowance and the hem allowance. And that's the length. I cut my band so it'll kind of be sewn all around. So let's stitch the shoulder seams first. Do I have any notches I need to get? I don't think so. Maybe I'll just let it clip in. So I always know what the front is. I'm going to clip into my notch, my sleeve notch. There we go. Clip into my top sleeve. There we go. And I'm just going to do a little notch here. Okay. So let's pin and stitch those shoulder seams together. And I'm going to be constructing this entirely on my regular sewing machine. So I'm not going to go to my serger to construct this. Right. And I always like to just notch my center back at my neckline. This is going to be key for when I match up the bands because I have a seam in the back. So that'll go right at the center back. Okay. Does anyone else leave their pattern pieces pinned until right they use them? I always need to do that. That's why I don't like to use pattern weights that much. I don't know. I have them, but I just don't use them as often as some other sewists I know. All right. So let me just have the back. So I'm hoping this can all come together in this live session because I'm going to wear it this weekend. It's a long weekend in Canada, and I just want to be cozy in this little home robe. Okay, so just pinning the shoulder seams together. And I actually cut a size bigger than I would normally cut. I just wanted kind of an oversized fit, especially if I'm doing it a robe, so it can overlap a little bit too. All right, so stitch those together. And I have a ballpoint needle on my machine, and I'm gonna set it to a stretch stitch. So I believe this is a stretch medium weight. Let's see. There we go. Okay, and I have matching thread all in place. Just stitch our shoulder seams together. This is usually one of the first steps in a lot of top or garment patterns. It's those shoulder seams. Oh, and let me look at the seam allowance actually, because since this is not meant to be a knit pattern, oh, okay, they're done with French seams on here, so they do have 5/8 of an inch. I'm just gonna sew at 3/8 all the way around because I cut it a size larger anyway. It'll be fine. It says I see color blocking in it. Oh yeah, that could be so cool. I was thinking I had some white and black French terry too. That could be really cool to color block together. I made a sweatshirt last night too that was color blocked green and black. And I'm gonna make a pair of matching sweatpants. I'm gonna cut the back pieces in black and then the front in green and then like the pocket pouches in black and the waistband. Have a nice stretch stitch going. Do that right there. I love working with French terry. It's a really nice stable knit too. Pretty easy to sew with. If you're new to sewing knits, the French terry is really a really good option to start with. It seems like just defaulted to sewing half of an inch of seam allowance because that's what I'm used to, and that'll be totally fine. You just gotta be consistent. If you change the seam allowance you're working with in a pattern, just be consistent. That's what I do. All right, I think I might actually press these seam allowances open. Maybe I'll do that. A little light press on these. Yeah, and then I'm going to install the sleeve. All right, put my shoes back on. I always kick off my shoes when I'm at the sewing machine. All right, let's grab my iron turned. Grab my iron. All right. I'm going to give this just a really light press. There we go. And in the last Fashion Sewing Live, I remember I stitched that date dress that was like a nightgown, and I wore that. I took it away with me to my staycation trip, and I was filming, and I wore it every night in the hotel room. It was super nice. Okay, now it's sleeve time. And I am not setting in these sleeves because if it's a knit, I'm not doing it. So what I like to do is I just lay out my armhole so it's right side up, and then I locate the knot so I know that this is my front. And so here, these will sew into that. So I'm going to unpin, and still, like what I always do, I never mark the back notch in my sleeves. It just confuses me. Working with Berta patterns, I think I've said this before when I did another sleeve, they only have one front notch in their armholes, and I'm just so, it's just subconsciously, I've always just knowing that their notch is in the front of the armhole. So it just confuses me if I put a notch in the back. So here I know this is right side up, this is right side up, and so I have my top notch, and I have my shoulder seam, so I'm just going to place these right sides together. That's the first pin I take, and then I take the sleeve and I match it to the underarm. And then as I stitch, I mean, this is going to be a knit, so they're going to go fairly well together. And then I just walk this way. And then I just turn it around and repeat. I love putting in sleeves this way. I will try and do this for any garment I sew with sleeves in it before I fit in the sleeve. All right, so we have our top notch. We have our front notches right there, so I know those go together. Making sure my seam allowance is open on the underside. I'm gonna walk this down. Oh, this is gonna come so much quicker together than a woven. You don't need to like search the edges. Oh, I need to turn my watch is beeping at me. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to sew my sleeves into my armhole, starting from one underarm point to the other. All right, let's hop back here. Looks like the sun was poking out. It was so overcast this morning, and now I can see some blue skies. I love having a window right in front of my sewing machine. It's so beautiful. Natural light coming in. I can see the blue skies. But we did need some rain. I was about to go water my garden, and luckily we had some nice rain, so everything is looking super nice out there right now. I'm so thankful for my garden. It's so lovely. I even bought like a gardening book. It's just like we had a friend come over this past weekend, and they knew so much about plants, and I guess it would be like a sewer just knowing different types of fabric and to identify it. And looking at plants and leaves, it's just like a whole different kind of knowledge and skill set. But I try to not make myself feel too bad. I'll learn it just like people learn how to sew. Now I think it's all the gardening outfits. Now I'm just stitching. So that was my underarm point right there. Just coming along. Oh yeah, this armhole and this sleeve go so nicely together. I would even think if you are sewing this pattern in a woven, because it's not a super fitted sleeve, you could definitely stitch your sleeve in this way if you are even sewing it in a woven. That's what I would do. I'm going to make sure my seam allowance, that open shoulder is laying nice and flat. So the edges are together. Oh yeah. I'm just stitching with a stretch stitch at my 1/2 inch seam allowance. There we go. And then down. armhole, so I'm kind of now just grabbing my other two armholes. I always like when I'm sewing knits to have one hand at the edge so I can have a nice even stitch. What do you have in your garden? Yeah, we have both. There is like a big patch where the previous owners had a huge vegetable garden, and some of the plants reseeded themselves. So we have strawberry plants coming up. We have spinach. We have so much rhubarb, which is amazing because my grandmother's her signature recipe is this rhubarb dessert. And at my the house I grew up in, we had a rhubarb plant, but my parents, where they live now, they don't have one. And so now my dad can come over and pick rhubarb, and we have spring onions. I went to pick out some this morning. I made like eggs and my own like spring onions on top. It's so beautiful. And we have like a currant tree, and like honestly, just being in the garden, like it makes me think of different fabrics, and different things to sew and like wear. Just walking through, it's just so funny how outside things can inspire your creativity and shift in your style and your lifestyle and everything like that. Lovely. Spring is a beautiful time in the garden, even though it's record-breaking cold in Vancouver. The flowers are wonderful. Gardening is a great second path. Totally. Yeah, I'm really excited to learn more about it and bring some hand stitching outside. My husband and I had the idea in our back deck. We have like an outlet that's in our sunroom, so bring a power bar out there. And I want to set up a whole, like, if I have a huge day of sewing, sometimes I have a lot of sewing to do for work, filming, prepping for filming when I'm traveling. I'm just going to set up like an outdoor sewing studio for like the day. Obviously, I wouldn't leave it overnight in case it rains or anything, but if I have lots to do during the day, yeah. I never really had an outdoor space. When we lived in our loft, we didn't even have a balcony. So it's just amazing having, grass and land and garden. It's beautiful. Now you can see my floral. Now all I want to wear is florals, right? It just kind of inspires my style. So I have my sleeve now. Here's my underarm all the way up, and my sleeve is nice and not set in, kind of like a faux set in. Okay, now I'm going to do the other one. Yeah, but it's so beautiful. Like for Mother's Day, I was able to actually go out in the garden and pick a bouquet. It was daisies, and I think I'm still learning flower names. I know them as like the yellow flower and the pink flower and the white flower, but yeah, there was daisies and tulips. We have these beautiful pink tulips. That was super cute. So now I was saying you can see all my all my fake plants in my sewing studio. I have so many fake plants, and I'm slowly starting to replace all my fake plants with real ones. Even in the bathroom, I have real plants, which notes me. I have on my to-do list literally today. It's like fashion sewing live, prep this, and it's like water plants. This is going to be super. I don't know if you can really see the color. It's just like not really coming through very well. You can kind of see it's this like dark kind of green, which I love a dark colored fabric because I'm going to be basically like throwing this over, if it's a little cool at night, I throw it over if we're sitting outside, if I'm just at home. Like it's just going to it's like I want it to be like a lounge duster pretty much. So me, clumsy me, it won't show stains too much on it. Oh my gosh, I need to add pockets. Oh my gosh, I think I'm literally might have to go into my garbage because I have no leftover fabric, and I think there's a scrap piece big enough to cut a pocket. I'm like literally looking at my garbage can. I definitely need a pocket, especially if I'm like going outside. You never know what you need. Um, but we do have some. I'm planning next year's spring issues of So News, and we have some gardening projects that's like some upcycling, garden aprons and some really cute stuff coming up. So it's on my mind. It looks dark teal on my, yeah, it's totally like a dark teal for sure. It's not a forest green. There's definitely some blue in there. It's definitely a dark teal. It's kind of like, here's my thread that I'm using. I have two spools of it, but this is kind of like the thread. It's a tiny bit lighter, but that's okay. It was the closest. Fine. All right, almost there. Almost have our sleeves sewed in. Oh, this is gonna be so comfy. It just shows you when you look at a pattern. I mean, you just don't have to go with the fabric or kind of the end use of the pattern. All your ideas. Oh, thank you, Esther. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, good. I always make sure when I do actually press allowances open that they do remain open when I stitch it. If I accidentally caught one, I would totally like stitch rip it. I'm just kind of perfectionist that way. I don't want to be all the time. Sometimes I wish I could just say, okay, just let it go. It doesn't have to be perfect on the inside. Okay, great. So now I can stitch up. Oh yeah, that sleeve looks great in there. You can kind of see the seam right there. It's looking great. Now I'm gonna stitch up the sleeve seams and side seams in like one continuous seam. Go put my shoes back on. So now when you install sleeves like this, you have kind of this open garment. And then I just like to have it wrong sides together, and then I just kind of pinch it in the middle and then flip it like that, and then I pin the underarms together. Now I think I'm going to pin these open for less bulk. So I'm going to make sure that those are all open. So I have my sleeve seams. But I definitely do want to remake this pattern in like a fancy fabric and do it with those French seams. Something nice to have, like just that kind of fancy long duster pattern. It really like dresses up, like even in the pattern photography, it just dresses up like a little bustier and a pair of jeans, makes it fancy. I do love that. Okay, so I have that pinned my side. Now I'm just going to pin down my side seam. I'm not going to put too many pins in it, just like a basic stretchy seam. All right, now I'm going to do the other side. Oh, this French terry is just like so buttery and like it's thin but thick at the same time. It seems like super durable. Like great amount of stretch to it. Go, and then come down the side seam like so. And then our sleeve. Ta-da. Okay, now I'm just gonna stitch up my sleeve and side seams, and like basically the shell of this pattern is complete. Then we'll do. I think what I like to do is I like to finish the hem first. So I'm gonna finish the hem and then sew on the right on and see if I want to like wrap it and install belt loops in a belt, or just kind of leave it open. I'll see once I'm at that point. Okay. Yeah, this would look so cool, like cutting each panel in like a different color of French terry. I wonder if I could even add embroidery to this. It's definitely a stable enough uh knit that I could add embroidery to. Leslie said, "Oh, you made the Olympia skirt in French terry. Oh yeah, oh that's a great summer skirt pattern. I love that skirt with those pockets." Yeah, I really didn't start like working with French terry until like the past like 2 or so years. It just really wasn't on my radar as a fabric. Trying to think of any suggestions for what I should sew next month. So I'm just wondering what I'll need. Like maybe I should make a skirt. You reminded me, Leslie, about like I haven't made a skirt yet on one of these lives, and also I love skirts in the summer. I'm wondering, yeah, I should totally make a skirt pattern. Okay, now I'm just making sure that my allowances are laying open on the top and on the bottom. Make sure that. So what I do is I kind of hold my fingers on each side. Esther also made the Olympia in cotton, but I messed it up. You don't know it wrong. Oh no! Did you make it in a stretch cotton? Because it is a pattern that's meant for stretch fabric. Maybe that's the pattern I'll make next month. I want to adapt it to be long though. I want like a maxi skirt with like slits on the side. But I love the pocket shapes and like the drawstring and everything. Maybe I will make that skirt. I don't know what I would make it in though. I guess I could make it in French terry. I have some white French terry, but knowing me, a white skirt is just needs to happen. I have some black French terry though. I could do white and black together maybe. That could be kind of cool. Okay, one sleeve and side seam done. Nice. I love this stretch stitch on my machine. It makes it so stretchy and strong. Oh yeah, got those seam allowances caught and open on each side. Love to see that. All right, trim my threads. Okay, where's my other one? Yeah, the sleeve this time. Yeah, I'm totally gonna make the Olympia skirt next month for my June live. See, you help me make my decision. Oh, I just had an idea. What if I the Olympia skirt to be like a skirt and so shorts underneath. That's very tempting. I could use our Loveland leggings pattern. I've used that before to do like biker shorts. You know what? Oh, a skirt. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I actually wore a skirt this weekend. I thrifted this lime green like sport skirt. It's like it's Calvin Klein. It's super cute, but I found it at a thrift store. It's perfectly my size, and it's like a golf skirt. But Julie and I went on like a trail hike around our neighborhood, and I wore it. And I love like a skirt for something like I'm just not a huge short fan, but I like the comfort and I love the comfort of like shorts. And I love the look of like a sporty skirt and like with pockets. So I think I'm gonna make the Olympia skirt. Yeah, yeah, it would totally be the perfect skirt because it has that like sporty look with like the drawstrings. Okay, that is my next. I'm like actively sewing this one, and I'm already so excited about next one. But this will be good for like. This is more. I guess they're both more utility, but this will be cute too. They'll both be cute. Okay, or it is. That's going to be fun. So I'm going to definitely use the Loveland leggings and the Olympia skirt and make a skirt. There was like 20 years of my life where skirts were just not a thing. I love them as kids, and then it's just like they just become like uncool. Like I don't know. In like the teens and stuff. Now it's like an adult. I'm all about the skirt. Like I would fully have ones that were like jean skirts with like jean shorts built it. Like those were so fun when I was little. And everyone who asks me, I like your skirt, you go, it's a skirt. And it's like they're so it's like the same things when you're wearing a jumpsuit. I was when I was in Colorado, we went into a Walgreens and I was wearing a jumpsuit and the cashier says, I love your dress, and then of course I couldn't just say it's a jump I say it's a jumpsuit. I like jump in the end like, to show it's a jumpsuit, you kind of like bend your legs. It's so funny. It just has to like be accompanied by like a little action. Okay. Now I'm going to just give these a little press open, and then I'm going to press up the hem because I cut the band to finish at the bottom of the like finished hem because I don't want to sew on the band and then bring that up and then hem it because that's like a lot of layers of that fabric over that seam especially. So I think I accounted for an inch or two. I have to look at the pattern. I did a little marking about the hem. So we'll press up the hem. I will stitch that, and then I will fold and press the band and then stitch that. Oh, look at what we've done in 30 minutes. Like I have the shell of this completely done. Just want to give this a little press open. Maybe I'll just do a little try on too. Actually matches my dress that I'm wearing. My dress has a little bit of teal in it. No, I didn't make it. I actually thrift. I'm like such a thrifter. I'm obsessed with going thrifting. I found so many cool fabrics, and I found this dress, and I just liked it. I might add another tier to it. You can see it's a little. I like my dresses pretty long. And so I was thinking of adding another gathered tier to it. Like maybe I'll take off this ruffle, add like a solid panel, and then reattach. But I just threw it on today because I just wanted to wear it. All right, so now this knit also presses nice too. I'm not like too worried about it. Maybe I'll grab my sleeve roll to press my sleeve. I have to come at it from this way. I don't know if I need steam or not, but it's such a reflex to press that button. So I like when things lay flat when I'm, wearing them. Here we go. Perfect. I'll press the other side, and then I will try this on. If I were to add embroidery to this, I'm thinking like, where would I add it and what would I add? Maybe to the pocket? I don't know. I guess, a pocket would be nice. I don't like need a pocket, but it would be nice to have a pocket for sure. Oh, look, my sleeve roll matches my matches it. Okay. Okay, let's give it a little try on. Let's see. Oh, I know. Don't forget the pockets. I know. I'll have to dive into my garment scan. Okay, here it is. Let's see. Oh yeah. Super cute. Yeah. I think with the band, it's a little, you know what? It is a little, I should have cut it a bit bigger, like to overlap it for a robe. But I like it just as like an open, I still have the bands on, but I don't know. Should I belt, it's not enough for like a full, like it's still so open in here for a full robe. So I don't know if I need the belt. I do need a pocket though. It's nice though. It's great with like it's nice and stretchy and nice. It's a good length. So maybe I'll sew on. I'm gonna mark where I want my pocket. Maybe I'll just. I only think I have enough fabric for one pocket. So where do I want a pocket? Do I want it like more sleek? And I'm just gonna look in this mirror quick. I can see better. This is like totally a peek into my sewing room. I try it on and then I just stare. I'm just thinking, okay, how can I make this work? Okay, when I want to make this next time, I'm gonna cut it another size bit, and I might add some to the front, to the back, because I really want to make one where it kind of. I mean, I could just go like maybe this pattern isn't for that. Maybe I'll just have to get another pattern. I really like it though. I think I kind of just like it sleek without pockets. Yeah, no, I like the look of it just hanging open too. I think I'm gonna leave it, but I should have done inseam pockets, but then it's like bulk. I think I'm just gonna leave it because I'll have something with like a pocket like underneath it, and I don't think like literally I'm like going into my garbage. Like I have. I mean that strap could work. Okay, let me just see. I could cut like a. Should I? I'm so conflicted. I mean, this isn't supposed to be. You know what? I'm gonna do a pocket. I'm gonna regret it if it's garbage day and this scrap goes into the garbage. So I'm gonna do a pocket. So I'm going to mark. Oh my gosh, I'm so scattered. Okay. I want it like here. Maybe I'll just put this and I'll just note to kind of center it along there. Okay, it's nice though. It's a good fit though for just hanging open. I really do like it. Okay, let's do the pocket now. So let me cut it. I'm gonna grab my cutting mat. Oh, my fake plant attached to me. Okay, now what size do I want to make this pocket? Let's see. What? I guess I'll just do a. Should I just do a square pocket? What do we think? Like I'll just sew it as like a patch pocket. That would work. That would work. How big? I'm always so confused about how big like a patch pocket should be. I'm just gonna straighten the bottom edge and then cut this straight, just so I have two straight axes. Okay. Let's see. So what's our panel? Okay, so it's going here. So what if so here's my pin right there. That's where I kind of wanted it, like kind of centered. So what if I made it like, I'm just going to center it visually. 6 inches wide. Try to make it a 6-inch square. 6 by 6. Not too small. So we'll cut it 7 by 7 for seam allowances. Okay. So 7. My ruler is 6 inches wide, so I'll need to. So that's 7 by 7. Okay, I have my pocket. So now what I'm going to do is, total glimpse into like how my mind works while I'm like sewing a project. It's always it changes, sometimes mid, mid project. So I'm gonna press one of the edges down, just like half of an inch. I don't think I need that yet. Okay, so this is pressed down. So now I'm going to top stitch, finish that top edge. And what stitch do I want to do? I don't know if I want to do, I'm going to do my favorite knit hemming stitch. I'm going to do this stitch. I love this stitch. Especially because this thread has a bit of sheen to it. It's an R&K thread, and it's going to look really nice in this stitch. I see it there. You can kind of see that. Lovely, lovely stitch. Okay, so now I am going to press the edges in. So my side, I'm gonna sides in. I think I'm just gonna straight stitch them along the side edges. I need to fill up the iron, like water in my iron. All right, I have 45 more minutes. I think I'm just gonna always like limit these to an hour and a half. An hour is like, you can get something done, but honestly, that last extra half an hour, you can get a lot done. So we'll see where I'm at. So I'm pressing in these edges. Okay. Now I have this marking, so I wanted to like center pocket there. Kind of want to make sure I have enough. Like this is a seam, but this is going to be a seam here too. So we want it like 1, 2.5, and then actually that's kind of perfect because this is 1, 2.5 with the seam allowance. I might actually move it over a smidge. That looks good. Like to put a pin in the middle too. Bent pin. Okay. Oh my gosh, I keep picking up this bent pin. There we go. Maybe I'll try it on just to be sure that the pocket is in the right location. Here. Oh yeah, so that's perfect. Not too high, not too low. Looks good. Great. Probably don't need this anymore. Okay, let's sew this pocket on. So I'm gonna just stitch. I'm gonna use a straight stitch, not a stretch stitch. I don't like the look of a stretch stitch for top stitching. And since like this isn't gonna be like too strained and it's pretty stable knit, I think just a straight stitch will work just fine. So let's put on this pocket. I just upped the stitch length just a little bit. Go. Pivot. My scissors under there, I can hear them. There we go. Just try to make sure I don't stretch anything as I'm doing this top stitching. Okay, cool. I have my pocket. Looks good. Great. Nice to have a, oh, is there a, is a pin inside my pocket? Oh, that was the marking pin. Right. Just going to turn the thread. Now I'm going to press up the hem of my garment. Oh, that pocket looks so good with that stitching. I love it. Okay. And so I had it marked on my pattern. I think it was, yes, it was, oh, 1.5 inches. Okay, got it. So let's press up the hem of my duster, 1.5 inches. Ooh. And for this, I always love to use a gauge. It makes it so much easier. There we go. Pins in there. Probably not leave that on there. I normally don't think to press up knit hems, but since I've been starting to do it, it makes it so much easier because I like a lot of hemming stitches for this. You sew from the right side and not the wrong side. So it really kind of takes that guesswork out of like, am I turning this up the right amount? I'm really trying to think of like, what do I have to wear underneath this that would match? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stitch the hem on the right side using that same stitch I used to finish the top of my pocket. Oh, this looks so good. If I wasn't sewing live, like I would probably also press and stitch the hem, like the sleeve hems, but I'm gonna do that when I'm done here. It's super easy just to do. I'll do that as my like last step. Okay, so now I'm gonna go from the right side. And I'm gonna grab a sip of water. My mouth is dry from chatting. All right, as I stitch, excuse me. Look at this cute little pincushion. That's so cute. It was in the goodie bag of Sewcation because I used to always store them in here, and I would knock it over and spill these 90% of my like turns. So now it's like I don't spill it as much near my serger. It's from Brooklyn Hatterashi. It's the cutest little thing. So now if it falls over, my pins don't fly everywhere. Okay. And I'm just always maintaining this fold on one line. So it's like perfectly straight. So I'm basically really looking at my plate. Oh, that's such a good point, Esther. That would have been so much easier if I pressed it while it was open. I wish I thought of that. Thank you. Yeah, that's a really good point. I should have done that. Next time. Yeah, I always forget. That is a good point. Sometimes I do forget that you can just at least press. Like you don't even have to sew it, but just to get that press and crease in there. Yeah, Sabina, I do feel the hem. It's like so. I'm always like feeling the hem, and like I'm feeling the groove of the hem, and like double checking. But I have some pins in here too. Um, Kit Kat break. Oh my gosh, I love that name. Says I want to make one of those pin holder bracelets. Yes, I do have one. Um, I do have one, but I just don't wear it as often. But I do have a story that I was wearing it a lot, and then one time I wasn't wearing it, I forgot, and just instinct, when I took out a pin, I stabbed it into my wrist, and it like stayed there because I thought I had the pin cushion on. Oh, sewing is a dangerous sport for sure. Yeah, the bracelet ones are cool though. I have a magnetic one. I just kind of forget to put it on a lot because I always have my watch on when I'm sewing. So I like if I know if I get like a text or a call, I don't have to like stop sewing and look at my phone. But if it's an emergency, I can. So kind of just disrupts with my watch. I'm obsessed with this knit hem. Like, doesn't that look just like so professional? Really, really want to make something that matches this. It's like a weird, like I want to make like a slip or something because I just see me wearing this like around the like, or just casually just throwing it on over. But I want to make it like a comfy outfit. Because there's just something about even when like I'll be going up to a cottage at some point this summer. You still want you still want to look like you're in a together outfit. Or just me. Oh, you know what? I think I have the perfect French terry print. I might make like a little romper. After I'm sewing this hem, I'm gonna grab it. Not sure how much I have of it though. I could make a little knit dress or a little romper with it, and it would totally go with this. It would nice to have. Excuse me. Would be nice to have matching pants. I wonder if I do have enough for like French terry pants. I wish I had enough of this exact feel, but I might have enough of this floral to do like matching flower pants, and I can just wear like a basic like t-shirt. Okay, I won't look there. Does anyone else, as they're sewing something, think of other things to sew? Like while they're in the act of sewing something, you're thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna go with this. Maybe I'll make this to match. Like I'm gonna make this next. I always do that. Oh, this is so cute. I love this thread. It's like an embroidery thread almost. It has like a sheen to it. Yeah, here's the fabric I have. Actually, you know what? I don't know. I could make culottes. So this is the fabric I have. But look at how it goes with that. There's definitely some crossover. I could make some like culottes with it. I think I have enough for culottes. If that. I'm just thinking. Okay, Meg, I need to focus on this. I just wanted to show you like this, and it's also a French terry, but it's a print, and it has like teal leaves in it, so it'll totally go. So this will be next. Okay, there we go. Yeah, look at that hem. Look at how great that looks. Okay, now I'm going to insert. Oh wow, that looks so good. Insert my front band to finish it up. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna sew the belt loop. I might. I have a bunch of white French terry. Maybe I could use the. I don't know. Those are like I could make a. I just hate I don't know. I hate wasting fabric. I mean, these are the straps and the belt, so it's not too much. I could incorporate it into something else, maybe. Maybe this could become like a waistband or accent on the floral. Maybe I could do that. Maybe a waist tie on the pants, my floral, and then like a little cuff accent. I could. Okay, that's the plan. That's the plan. Okay. Look at how beautiful that hem looks. Okay. So now I am going to, I had to cut the band because it's quite long in two pieces. So I'm going to sew. I already pinned the center back seam. And then I'm going to, at the bottom, I think I cut these the right length for this. I'm going to fold them in half, right sides together, and sew them, and then turn them right side out. So these bottoms are right sides together. So it's going to be like a seam on the bottom. I think I'm just going to double check that I'm doing the right length. So I'm just going to hold it up just halfway. So here would be kind of my seam right there to come down. The front. Oh, it looks like it's, oh, wow. How long? Oh, you know what? Did I cut it before I, oh, yeah, it's way longer. You know what I'm going to do? Now that this is sewn, I'm just going to measure 1/2 and then accommodate my band to that. So I am going to measure from my center back. So this is sometimes I'd like to wait to like cut things like this until the garment is sewn. Okay, so I am going to, this is my center back notch. So I am going to just walk my measurements along. So it's ending in 43 inches. So I need to cut my band 44 because we have the seam allowance here and at the neckline. So 44 from half, which this is. Let me take out these pins. Lay them flat. Okay. So these need to be 44 inches long. Yes, and they were 48. No wonder. I think I just cut them extra long just to be safe. So 44, which is here. Okay, so I am now just going to, I really should use a guide here. I don't trust myself with my eyeball and like these type of scissors. So I'm just going to go like this. we go. Two little pieces for my things. All right, so now I'm going to put these right sides together. So now I know they will be in line with the finished hem of my garment. And this process is for anything that's like open, a jacket, a kind of this type of pattern that finishes front band. Beautiful fabric for summer with the flowers. Yes, thank you. Make sure I'm going back to a stitch. So I'm just stitching my center backs together. Oh, I'm so making pants in that point. Perfect. Okay, so I have my back, my center back. This is basically like the last step. Once this band is sewn on, it's done. Then I'll just do the sleeve hems. So I'm just stitching these. Right sides together. Then I'll clip the corner and flip it right side out. It was just so nice to be sewing and like not feel like I'm alone. I'm just like social sewing. Great. Thank you for everybody tuning in and commenting. It's so much fun. I appreciate it so much. There we go. Okay, so now I am going to grab my little pressing. I'm going to press my center back seam open. Okay. And then on these, I'm just going to trim the allowance, kind of clip the corner. I think, do I have a point trimmer here? Oh, I do. Good. Like a little. There we go. Fabulous. And then you can press, I'm going to press the whole thing in half. Wrong sides together. I love finishing front openings, like a cardigan or everything with like a band. I like it better than a facing. Make sure those bottom edges line up. There we go. Sure my allowances are laying open. I'm pressing that back edge. Almost there. Oh, I need to trim this one too. Get that a little trim and clip of the corner. Okay, so now we are ready to pin it to here. So I'm just going to start at that center back. My scissors back here so I don't forget them. So here's my center back notch. Just going to match those. And then just working my way down. Making sure the hem and that bottom band seam are exactly aligned. I think it's going to be easier for me to sew with the band on the bottom. I'm going to start pinning it with the actual robe, the wrong side up. I'm not going to pin it too much. Just a couple. Okay, yeah, that's fitting nicely now with the center back. Then I can make sure that these allowances lay open and flat. All right. And aligning my other bottom. Oh, that's with the wrong edge. Okay. Okay. Almost done. There we go. That makes more sense. All right, now I'm going to take this to the machine and just use my stretch stitch all the way around here to the bottom. And that's my very last seam. Yeah, so I like to sew this with the robe up facing me so I can make sure that it's being nice and caught. I'm just really making sure that all of these edges align because they're both already finished, so you just want to make sure. I might sew this at like a, not the 1/2 inch, maybe at a 3/8. Oh, I'm already so excited to make my skirt for next time. It's going to be so fun. At the back. Oh, yeah, this is fitting perfectly. I'm glad I double checked that before I. trying to think of the pattern that I want to use for my matching like culottes. I could use the Navy culottes. I love those, but they're pretty wide, and I'm just worried I'm not going to have enough fabric. Like they have a lot of extra width to them, which makes them great. They're great silhouettes. I just don't think I have enough fabric. All right, coming to the back. Go, just rotating around. Making sure my seam allowance is open here. Always like to make sure it's laying open. Oh, we got 10 minutes to spare. So this could definitely come together probably quicker because I spent some time, deciding about the pocket and what I want to do. So this is definitely a quick project for sure. All right, I'm already at the end. The thing with strips is just to notice that as like a straight stitch, but I just increased my stitch length ever so slightly, so it's a bit of a longer stitch length. Perfect match. It's nice and flush. You can see at the bottom. Making sure those are exactly together. When I'm doing like if these are both finished, I like to actually come off the fabric edge like a little bit like that, and then kind of come back. All right, here we go. Oh, it's done, except for the sleeve hem. So I will quickly do those after. Look at that front bandage. You can see how it goes in here. I'm thinking I probably am going to top stitch it all along the band to keep this edge flat. So I'm going to probably top stitch it flat all the way around. But yeah, okay, let me try it on. This is so exciting. I love it. So all I need to do is just top stitch the band and then finish the sleeve. Oh, it looks great with the band. Oh, I like it. Yeah, it's still like a little too small, like to do kind of a wrap robe, but it's awesome for just having open and like a pocket. It is super comfy. I really do like it. It's very cute. Now, yeah, once I press this, the bands kind of finish it off nice. And I like that you can kind of see with the band, it kind of comes up on the neck like a little collar, the pocket. Very cute. All right, well, that concludes this edition of Fashion Sewing Live. I appreciate everybody who tuned in, and thanks for talking with me. Esther says, very nice project. And oh, there's a huge bee outside my window. I thought it was inside for a second. Sorry, as I said, very nice project and easy. Thank you. It was fun and sewing with you. Thank you. It's so fun sewing with everyone here. And Kit Kat break. Wow, looks like a great fit. Honestly, this is the perfect fit for me. For size reference, here, let me just. I cut the size. I cut the size 8. Did I? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. No, I cut the size 10. Yeah, I was like 8 would be too small. I cut the size 10 in this, but it is a really, really good fit for me. And just for size reference, like my bust is like 30, 38, 39, waist 30, hips 41. So if you're similar to that, you've got a good size reference. So again, thank you so much. Love you all. And until next time, happy stitching.